Hello and welcome to Tuesdays with Annette. It's our first one for 2021. Well, you may notice this is not a normal scenario that you would see on this show, and yes, I broke my arm. The other day I was walking on some wet tiles and I fell back really hard on my shoulder and I've broken my humerus bone across the top there. So I'm out of action for a couple of weeks here. So what do? We still got to keep the show going, as they always say. What's that quote? The show must go on. And fabulous Diane is going to be me today. So she's all excited and very happy to step in. And so if you don't know Diane, Diane works with us. She's been with us now for 9 years, so basically she can be me because she's seen 1,000 episodes. But look, what we're making today is a fantastic easy recipe to start the year off. So I'm going to step it over to Diane now to take over. I'm going to come back later on and just connect with you before we finish up. So good luck, Diane. I'm handling the gauntlet to you, Dale. Have fun, because I know these people are going to just love you as I do. So great to see you again for the year, and take it away.
Hello, welcome to Tuesdays with Annette. What a surprise way to start the year. I had no idea. Got the phone call from Annette on Friday and she says, you never guess what's happened. I've broken my shoulder. Is there any chance you can do my Tuesday show? And you know what? I never tell Annette no. After 9 years, that's probably why I'm still here after 9 years. So I said, why not? Let's give it a go. What's the worst that can happen? So here we are today. If you've just joined, you're probably wondering who's this crazy lady in Annette's kitchen. Go back and listen to the beginning. You'll find out all about it. You'll know what has been happening here at Simply Too Good. Now, so we're cooking the chicken Parmigiana from book 2, and it's also in Cooking for One or Two People. So this is the beautiful recipe here. Thank goodness it was an easy recipe that Annette had already decided she was going to make. And like I say, it's also in Cooking for One or Two People. Now I've preheated the oven. It's on there for 180 degrees fan forced. I've got everything out ready to go. So we have the cutting board. We have a mallet, a meat mallet. If you don't have a meat mallet, you can use any other heavy object. So a rolling pin is always really good. I have got a little spatula, a tablespoon, another spoon just in case, and a tray to cook it on, because obviously we're going to be popping it into the oven. So that's everything we need there. And I've got some ingredients. So we've got two 250 gram beautiful lean skinless chicken breasts, some lovely 97% fat-free ham. There's 75 grams of that there. And this is the one that Annette likes to get. It's the Don, and you'll see it's got the 97% fat-free in the corner, because sometimes it can be a bit hit and miss at the deli. Sometimes it can be lovely and lean, and other times it's not so good. So this one is always really nice. We've got some no added salt tomato paste, and also some beautiful cheese, some 30% reduced fat, tasty cheese, freshly grated this morning. Don't buy the one that's already grated, it doesn't melt as nice. And obviously a little bit of cooking spray as well. But before we get started, you know what we're going to do. We're going to wash our hands, because this is a cooking class. And that's what we do in our cooking class. So I'm just washing my hands now. Good 20 seconds. Remember, we learnt that in COVID. So if you've just joined, don't forget, we are here in the kitchen cooking up the chicken Parmigiana out of book 2, also in Cooking for One or Two People. And just rinse my hands off. And so let's get started. Before we get started though, I just want to read the dietitian's tip, because this recipe, if you were to have it in, if you go out for dinner somewhere, the hotel or something like that, you would be surprised how much fat you're actually having. So I'm just going to read the dietitian's tip. So it says, at last, a chicken Parmigiana that tastes like you'd find at the pub, but without being high in fat. This is a great choice for people with diabetes or who are aiming for weight loss. So that's what the dietitian had to say about it. Now, a traditional version, you'd be looking at chicken thigh, they probably use a fatty ham, full fat cheese, and then they tend to crumb it and throw it in the deep fryer. And that's not ideal for anyone who's trying to lose weight or anyone who's interested in good health. You'd have at least 65 grams of mostly saturated fat right there on your plate just with your piece of chicken. Annette's weigh 8.5 grams of fat, and that's for the chicken. If you were to do it as a veal, so a veal palmy, you'd be looking at 8.8 grams of fat. Hello, don't we love Annette for that? And remember, if this recipe is actually on the website, so if you haven't downloaded the recipe already, you can go to the website simplytoogood.com.au and you'll find the recipe there, so you'll be able to make it for your family. So let's get started. What have we got to do first? It's a beautiful, easy recipe. There's literally 4 ingredients plus the cooking spray, so it's super easy. The first thing we're going to do is flatten out the chicken breast. So what we like to do, make it nice and clean. Pop a freezer bag underneath, another one on the top, and then just bash it out. So we usually start with the thickest part first. So we like to, the idea, what we want is it to be nice and at very similar thickness by the time we get to the end. We also want it to be double the thickness and, double the size. And give it a good bash. Don't just sort of tap away at it. Give it a really good bash. Now, if you've just joined us, don't forget we're here in the Simply Too Good to Be True kitchen, cooking up a storm, making Annette's fabulous chicken Parmigiana from book 2. So I've flattened that one out. Let's just pop a bit of cooking spray on the tray so we can put these down in a moment. Let's just pop the tray in front of us. Grab a knife, and we just sort of want to see where is roughly half. So we want a nice even serve for each person. This recipe serves 4. So, and we just take it off pop it on the tray. If it gets a little bit separated, just sort of pop it back together. We're going to be popping the ham over it so it will all come together. Oh, it's giving me grief, of course it is. Pop it all back together nice and neatly. We need to get the 4 on there, so we'll do those 2. Grab the second breast and repeat. Give it a good bash. And if you've noticed before, Annette always uses these beautiful near-flame knives, and we've just been told by our supplier that we only have, we can't get any more at this stage because they're having trouble getting them into the country. So if you're not, if you have been looking at them, you're thinking, I really love Annette's knives, I really want to get some of those. We have 2 sets left. Once they're gone, we don't know when we're going to be able to get any more. So if you want them, I suggest you grab them. So now I'm just going to pop the ham on next. So when we've counted them out, we've ended up with 6 pieces of ham. So that means each one gets 1.5 pieces of ham. So usually what we'll do is just pop the ham over the thickest part, the full piece over the thickest part. Thank you, Annette. So we'll pop that full piece in there, and then we'll cut these last two pieces in half. And just lay them out. So that we're getting ham over as much of it as possible. Okay, how are you going? Are you keeping up with me? I feel like I'm going a little bit slower than Annette would, so hopefully you're keeping up with me. So I'm just going to pop this in the soapy sink, and I am going to just quickly wash that off my hands. So if you've just joined us so far, what we've done, we've flattened out the chicken and popped it onto our tray that we've sprayed with a cooking spray. We've got the ham on the chicken. So the next thing that we're going to be doing is actually putting our tomato paste onto the chicken, onto the ham. And this is, if you've just joined us, this is the chicken Parmigiana Annette Sym's way, straight out of book 2, or Cooking for 1 or 2 People. So generally what we would do, Annette says how she does it, I got all the goss before we got on the show, so she would just pop the 1 tablespoon on top of each piece of ham, and then after that we'll spread it out. Now the other thing that Annette was telling me when we were chatting about the recipe before the show is her daughter Kelly actually likes to do this with barbecue sauce, and I reckon that would taste amazing. So thank you, Kelly, for that wonderful little tip there of what you do. It's a bit like the barbecue chicken and bacon, isn't it? And this is chicken, ham and barbecue if you do it Kelly's way. So that might be another way you could try if you're wanting to just spice it up a little bit, do it something a little bit different. Pop those out of the way, and we will just spread out our tomato paste. We want to get it nice and even, so try and spread it all the way out to the edge. And try not to have any bits that are a bit thicker than the other. And of course, remember, Annette uses a 15 ml tablespoon. So if you have your tablespoons, just have a look on them, because here in Australia, there is a lot of different size tablespoons that are on the market. So if you're going to, if you're going, have a look in your, at what your tablespoons are, just double check that they are 15 ml. It does make a big difference in certain recipes, especially anything that's thickened with corn flour. You do need to make sure you're using the right size tablespoon. Did we say we preheated the oven? I think we did. We preheated the oven to 180 fan forced. If I forgot to say that, it is possible. Okay, so we've got that spread out. I think I'm a little hit and miss. I just don't know that I'm going to steal Annette's thunder anytime soon. So that's that all done. Now the last thing we have to do is to pop our cheese on. Pop this in our soapy sink. Put our cheese on. So, oh, of course, and it's giving me little tips along the way, which is just great, fantastic. So we've got that there. And then we'll just try and put even amounts of cheese on. So we'll sprinkle a little bit of cheese on each one, and then we'll go back and top up the ones that we think maybe need a little bit more. So, and obviously you're going to get some on the tray. That's just what happens. That's okay. So just putting it out on, try and get it right out to the edges. Sprinkling it on there. Remember, this recipe is on the website, so if you've just joined and you're thinking, oh, that looks delicious, I'd love to have that. This is another great recipe as well. If you've got people coming over, you can prep it to this stage. You can put it on your tray and have it all ready to go. Have it in the oven, put a bit of cling in the fridge, put a bit of cling wrap on it, and then when you're just about ready to serve it up, it takes about half an hour to cook, so when you're just about ready to have dinner, pop it in the oven. You don't have to be away from your guests for too long, and they'll have a delicious meal. So this is all ready to go now. We can pop it into the oven. Once again, it's 180 degrees, fan forced oven. It takes around 25 to 30 minutes. That depends on your oven, obviously. So let's pop that into the oven. And don't forget to set your timer. So Just pop the timer on. Pop it on for 25 minutes, just so we can check it. If it needs a bit longer at that stage, we can do that. And obviously, if you're not really familiar with cooking chicken, you just want to make sure it's cooked. So usually what I'll do, the bit that I know I'm having, I'll actually just get the knife and cut into it just to make sure the chicken is cooked. So I'm always really pedantic about chicken, and my husband says I overcook it, but that's because I don't want undercooked chicken. So that's in the oven, 25 to 30 minutes, but of course, by the wonders of I needed to cook this recipe before I came on the show today, we have a meal here all ready to go. What do you think, Annette? How did I go?
Oh, I think it's fantastic. Oh, well done, Diane. You did really great. Oh my gosh. So chicken Parmigiana, 4 ingredients, boom, 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 done, fizzy fabulous. This is what we want for dinner on those easy nights. If you want guests to come over but have an easy dinner, as Diane said, you did great. Well done, honey.
Thank you.
I'd give you a hug, but I can't. So if you're just tuning in later and going, why is Annette doing this? Start at the beginning. You'll find out all the gossip about what happened. But of course, we want to give some prizes away here. That's what we do on Tuesdays and Thursdays with Annette. So what you need to do is, if you want to win, now you can choose between book 2 or the cooking one 2, because it's in both those recipes. You get to pick. So what you have to do is you have to like and share. And this year, Tuesdays with Annette, you just have to leave a comment. That's right, in where it says comments, just write us a comment. Going to be about the recipe or whatever you want to tell us, and out of that I will randomly pick 3 lucky winners, and you'll find out about that next week. So that's all you have to do. Remember, like, share, and in the comments write a comment, whatever you wish. Now, the other thing that we're very excited about here at Simply Too Good headquarters is that we're about to start a new challenge, and it's called the End of Summer Challenge, and it starts on the 15th of February. So if you want to join up, do it now, because I just love what we've created for this challenge. You just need to go to simplytoogood.com.au/membership. You'll find out all about it there, and if you've hesitated before, maybe now is the time you're ready for it. And because I've got a sling on doesn't mean that it changes anything. I'll be there and mentoring you as we go. Now also, we have a February newsletter going out this week, so if you haven't done that, go to the website, simplytoogood.com.au, and sign up there. And it's a free newsletter as well, isn't it, Diane?
Yeah, absolutely. And we don't spam people. That's the one thing I always like to say. We don't have time to be sending you a million emails out every week or whatever it happens to be. So just go on there. You'll get lots of tips, recipes, free, that are free for you. There's also offers that we put on the newsletter. So if you haven't signed up, go onto the main page of the website and you'll find a link there to sign up.
Yep, fantastic. Now, do remember that this actually is a great recipe because it freezes. So if you're making extra or you've got leftovers, freeze them. They work really well. But so what's happening? I'm back on Thursday, that's right. But I'm going to have a special guest because, hello, it's a little bit hard to cook with one arm. I'm good, but not that good, am I, Diane? But I'm going to be assisting a fabulous person that you're going to love. I'm dying for you to meet her, and we're making carrot cake out of book 1, which is an all-time classic, just like the chicken parmy. And then next Tuesday, Miss Diane, if we haven't scared her off, you'll be back in the kitchen next week. And what are you going to make?
I'm going to make the Malay salad out of cooking for 1 or 2 people, because who says a salad has to be boring? Certainly not anything that comes out of Annette's cookbook. And can I tell you, the dressing on that Malay salad is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, so you'll be able to download that recipe and get that so you can buy the ingredients and do what you did today, hopefully, and cook with Diane. And of course, I'll be back doing the show as soon as I can get this off me. But anyway, that's it for today. Thanks for our first show for the year. Well done, Diane.
Oh, thank you.
Well done, Billy. Thanks for joining us. Bye.
Bye.